podcasting since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts Radio Network, kingofpodcasts.com.
You know, WWE's and TKO's fan base isn't really the juvenile delusional fan base we talk about. It's actually AMC Theaters and Regal and Peacock and Netflix and...
Woo! Hey, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And believe it or not, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it. Because you have to listen to Wrestling is Real. It is the best thing going today. Woo!
The worldwide leader of podcasting excellence. The King of Podcasts Radio Network proudly presents The Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
You know, it took me a while to go ahead and figure out what was the best way to explain what WWE and TKO have been doing right now in this current realm with the Netflix era. Well, it took me a while even to get this into the title for tonight's program, but yes, a shell game. Let me explain this. Because right now, WWE is very good at being persuadable. They can persuade their partners and pander to their fans with, you know, fairly cooked storylines and matches and things like that. They're able to just get that across. And the thing is that WWE is so good at this that they are able to go and make fans and their media sponsors and their partners and their collaborators happy. You know, it's an amazing psychological mind trick that they do with everyone. I mean, the way they're able to get these shows, which are not that good when it comes to Raw, SmackDown, or the pay-per-views, or even NXT last night. I look at what they're doing, and it's not really good, but man, that fan base, I'll tell you what, the people in the arena, they know how to get those people riled up. They get the right pop. Hey, Rhea Ripley's coming out, big pop. Undertaker with Trick Williams, big pop, right? I mean, they have this down to a science, and it's very simple. Very simple-minded booking. Because that's how they care about this audience. So people like me that have been watching for 40 years plus, you know, we look at this, we can see through it. It's fine, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to be overly critical about it. It's like, this is what they're going to do. All right? Because I don't worry about the fact that WWE is my end-all, be-all wrestling. But for everyone else, it is. For many people, it is. But if you listen to this program long enough, you know that I don't just watch what WWE is doing. You know, for this weekend, we talked about TNA Slammiversary. Did a post show on it. You can find it right here, kingofpodcasts.com. And, you know, I could go and talk about all the years of TNA and what they did. And I came into a great point as to why TNA Slammiversary went the way it did with the world titles. Trick Williams retains the World Heavyweight title. JC Jane is now a double champion. Does that really benefit TNA? No. The benefit for TNA, I said, is under the tutelage of Carlos Silva, who apparently now wants to be more of an on-screen character. He wants to be the figurehead in front of the camera. It's apparent. There's a recent interview he just did, and there's a bunch of things he said. We can talk about that real quick. I'll bring that up right now. So Carlos Silva has said now in a recent interview with the Battleground podcast, he discussed the fan frustration over NXT stars Trick Williams and JC Jane holding the TNA World and Knockout World titles, respectively. So this is an answer for me right here. Old King of Podcasts here. Carlos Silva, he's going to respond to something that would be a little bit frustrating for me, why they're doing this, because you know reason why I feel this way. But here's what Carlos Silva says. He understands the sentiment, but it's part of building larger interpromotional stories. So there's not enough within TNA to create good stories to get 7,623 folks at the event in Slammiversary, right? The UBS Center. The UBS Arena. You're telling me that? Well, look, how do you respond? You respond by saying, I understand and I get it. If you saw the look at my face, look, I mean, that's all part of wrestling. I'm glad they're talking about it. That means we matter. It means they care and we care. And we're going to keep it together. A very good corporate way of getting out of that question. Fine. He asked fans to trust the process, pointing to positive TNA moments like the X Division title win by Leon Slater. He says he promised that more great payoffs are coming as the company builds toward their biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory. So maybe he's tipping the hat saying that, well, maybe that Trick and JC will drop the belts eventually for what's going on. The other thing he also said that was notable in the interview is the fact that he might not rule out taking bumps. Now, this is a new interview he talked to directors from a week before, talking about with My Mom's Basement, that he would not rule out taking bumps on live TV. So he says, right now, the biggest part of the character I've been is being who I am, president of TNA Ring, so I'm supporting or doing whatever I need to do to support, but I guess you say never with these things. Got it. So with everything that's going on, I wasn't overly disappointed with Slammiversary, but as a TNA fan, I see the writing on the wall. When they decide to get in bed with somebody like a WWE right now, like they are, it's very apparent that they're just going to go on in a direction that if TNA, and when TNA gets their TV deal, it'll be all worth it. But they have to go and bite the bullet and take some of this flack right here because they're looking at the end goal. Now, the question is, where will TNA get a TV deal from? Who's going to offer that to them? We've been speculating. We've heard about it. We heard some of the names, like could be like, say, an A&E. That was one of the names that kept trying to drop out there. But they're looking to find what there is. And the update on the TNA TV deal so far, they're looking for a $10 million TV deal. Remember that CW, I think, is offering, $80 million right now for the current TV deal that they have. $10 million, not going to be much. It will not allow them to be live, I would think, every week. I don't think that would even be possible for that kind of amount. But he says, and this is also on the Battleground podcast, that you need to work hard every single day to be there. And if you work hard every single day to be there, you perform, the product's great, then you get lucky. And the media space is about buzz. It's about creating this feeling of getting bigger and growing. And that's exactly what we're doing. So is it going to help? Yeah. Is it done yet? No, it's not done yet, but I'm going to work on it today. I'm working on it tomorrow. And it's my focus to get that done. And there's a couple different options we're working on, and we're going to keep pushing every day. I mean, they're not in a rush to get this done, but obviously in this relationship, they have to find out who can go and figure out what they're going to do, right? That's what they want. But as Carlos Silva is saying, he is looking for a $10 million TV deal. I don't know how you're going to get that to be able to do anything with that much, but that's what their plan is. And that something should be finalized within 60 to 90 days. Got it. It's not a major ask, but I mean, I don't know who's going to have that kind of money right now out of a cable outlet that's going to be available. The optics of what TNA is getting from their partnership, it's one-sided towards NXT. Pretty clear of that. I mean, even the fact that you had Trick Williams cutting promos as a TNA World Heavyweight Champion on NXT, it's not even the first place he goes. I mean, the first place he goes right now is NXT, of course. Of course, they popped the rating with The Undertaker showing up, and they promoted it beforehand. And here's the thing that makes sense to me either. So, Trick Williams is out there lauding the fact that he became champion again, retained. And The Undertaker is called out. And for whatever reason, Undertaker is out here. So here's the promo they decided to do on NXT. Don't put him on Raw or SmackDown. Not on Netflix. CW for Undertaker. Here's what we got.
Like Trick Williams. Is that right?
And you're telling me Undertaker's not going to get the pop here and they're not getting the cheers from the NXT crowd? That they're getting faint chance of whoop that trick for Trick Williams? Really?
That's right. So let me give you just one more piece of advice. You're a little too light in the ass to step to an OG. Now, you want to dance with the devil? I can flip that switch real quick. But listen, Trick, When I do, I promise you, I will make you famous.
Oh, Trick trying to punch The Undertaker. And a choke slam for his troubles.
So I don't know what we're getting with The Undertaker and Trick Williams and why Trick Williams can't be put up to the main roster. And then they put him up here with Undertaker, where not everybody's going to be watching that episode, okay? Under 750,000, or a little over 750,000, fine. So they did that, and what is that going to be doing? What are we going to get from that? Are we getting a SummerSlam match out of this, or an NXT pay-per-view match? Like, why are we using Undertaker here? I just don't understand that part. The use of, and actually the first idea I was going to do with, on how I was going to title the show was about the 3 stars right now that are main event level that are not being booked right. Trick Williams is not being booked right. Why he's being booked to be TNA World Heavyweight Champion and why he's not on the main roster yet. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you could put anybody else into that partnership, into the mix here in TNA, but Trick Williams, why? The other star I have an issue with, and trying to understand what they're doing here, is with Braun Breaker. And now you're setting up a match with him and Roman Reigns. And here's the promo that everybody's talking about. Somebody on here actually said here that this was one of the best promos of his career. But all I hear is kind of a shade of sound like his Uncle Scott.
We don't want you here anymore. You're yesterday's news. You're the old dog. Hell, you were relevant 5 years ago. That was your prime. You're just taking up a spot standing in my ring. And I'm glad that you didn't take his offer, because I know that Paul won't stab me in the back. You want to know why? I hold value in this place. You're worthless.
Every storyline is basic. Super basic. I want the fans to be provoked a little bit. I want a reason why this came about. Like, this is all of a sudden, okay, Roman, the thing is with Paul, he's not even really bringing up Paul Heyman as the reason why we're kind of having this issue here. Because really, Braun Breaker hasn't had any issues with Roman. It's Paul Heyman that does. And so Paul's not talking back to Roman while having Braun Breaker be his safeguard. Instead, Braun Breaker's trying to go and build up heat with Roman Reigns, trying to break him down. And they're going to have a match. Like, I mean, Roman Reigns is going to set up for tag team matches, apparently, with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Is that what we want? I don't know. I'm not necessarily caught up on that either. But this is what we're doing with Roman Reigns. This is a main eventer. He's still a main eventer, and he's been used badly since Survivor Series. I mean, even before then, honestly. WrestleMania last year, after he loses to Cody, I have not liked what they've done with Roman Reigns at all. The face turn, yeah, he did, I guess, but like it didn't go anywhere. He got beaten up by his other bloodline siblings that are the secondary bloodline, the NFT or whatever it's called now. Yeah, NFT. I forget what they call themselves now. Something, I forget. Not that important. And Roman Reigns is here, and Braun Breaker. If you're going to do the promo, then just be your uncle, Brett. Do Scott Steiner if that's what you're going to do. Like, I'm not going to be worried about the fact if you start yelling, we don't want you anymore. Like, just go ahead and do that. That'll be fine with me. At least I would at least be enjoying the promo, but like, you're worthless, you're this and that. Like, it's a very weak promo. Best promo of his career. This was the best promo of his career? No, he's done better. But this is the build you're going to have, 2 weeks before MetLife Stadium and, the New Jersey skyline right there, New York, New Jersey, in the Meadowlands. We're going to have this be a setup for a match. It's not one of the top matches, but these two deserve better. But we're just going to get a simple, ego stroke. Both of these guys have egos, and that's it. So Braun Breaker's got a bone to pick with Roman Reigns. That's it. dog versus dog? Are we going to get a dog collar match? Maybe that would make sense. But I mean, we're not. This is just basic storytelling. Basic. Oh, look at you. Who are you? I'm going to fight you. Pretty much it.
I'm the big dog now. I'm the top dog now. I'm the future of WWE. I'm the man around here now. So do what you do best, Roman. Turn around and leave.
This was not his best. Plus, I can't stand the fact that these guys aren't like dressed up. Like, I mean, Braun Breaker, go into something like a little bit more flashy, man. Let's make him look like something. He's just out there, you know, cheering off and like, kind of like he's something, but it's like, that's not. I don't know. Didn't do it for me. That's another story that I was just like, the storylines and what they're doing. But everything's kind of like bizarro anyway. Like the way I would want to see promos going on, like in any other wrestling company, and what I would expect from WWE, yeah, they're not doing that anymore. When CM Punk is doing promos like this, pandering to the crowd, this is the CM Punk we got. AEW CM Punk and the promos he gave us, and look what he's doing now. Look what he's doing now.
Up with Gunther, and I can't promise a win, ladies.
We're setting up the World Heavyweight title match with Gunther. Okay, he won to get to this point, and CM Punk, and the way he structures how he might not be good enough to beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. This is bad.
Up with Gunther, and I can't promise a win, ladies and gentlemen, but with you all cheering me like you do. And hand to the screen, anybody sitting at home watching on Netflix, if you're going to be there live in New Jersey for SummerSlam, I can promise you that I will leave it all in the ring. I will not quit. I will give you everything I have.
So Sami Zayn's hurt, or I mean, he's been out there, I guess, right? But Sami Zayn's not in that main event picture, and CM Punk is now cutting Sami Zayn promos.
And we are lucky to be WWE superstars. And you think this is just your story or my story? You know who else has stories like this? Every single person sitting in these stands. Every single person watching at home, the kids who struggle at school, the people who struggle at work, they struggle economically, physically, they have their losses, they have their sacrifices, but they still get up every day and do what they've got to do to soldier on and get through the day without pointing the finger at everybody else.
That's what I feel like I'm getting from CM Punk in the promo he did on Monday night. And that, by the way, well, that was Christmas time where Sami Zayn was taking on Drew McIntyre, setting up for a match. So that promo there, it's like the kind of underdog, endearing, like CM Punk and the bravado he's had all his time. And now he's acting like, well, he might not be able to do well against Gunther. But here's more of what he said.
I look at Gunther and I see one of the best wrestlers in the world, Intercontinental Champion for 666 days on his second run with the World Heavyweight title. And I only got 2 weeks to prepare for this beast. But Houston, then I remembered, oh, wait a second. You've been training for this your entire life. You are prepared. You are CM Punk.
It's like Sami Zayn from, like a year ago. Like, what's going on here, man? It doesn't vibe with me. And I'm waiting to go ahead and get something more. But, that's why I keep talking about with other companies, I get promos that are a little more familiar with what I'm looking for. Like, something happens to create friction, to create a feud. We're not getting feuds. We're just getting, like, okay, step across this line, step across this line. It's like, okay, somebody comes to a bar and like you don't like the person. Very simple, basic booking. And this company's really good at that. So that's what they're giving us right now overall. Basic booking across the board. And by the way, those promos right there are Netflix, which leads into my next part. While the fans are getting pandered by all this here, the broadcast partners, the streamers, right? The promotional partners, all they are just like pigs in shit. So Netflix, praising the fact that Monday Night Raw has hit 6 straight months in Netflix's top 10. And Variety put out a story about this. You know, this is kind of like everybody complains about Tony Khan always on the route to go to Variety and get a story done about them. Well, here, the same thing goes for WWE right now for Variety. Okay. So the move to Netflix. Variety writes this story here. Joel Otterson right here. He says, quote, since WWE's move to Netflix on January 6th, Monday Night Raw has been on a world champion level run. Sounds like a press release, but this is actually a story. The franchise immediately became a constant presence on the streamer's top 10 global English language TV charts. The week of July 7th marked the 27th straight week that Raw hit the top 10 globally. It's averaging 6.3 million hours viewed per week and just over 3 million views per week. So make sure to hear, okay, just over 3 million viewers per week. Now, we're talking about, and within the first, 24 hours, 2.5 million viewers. So an extra 500,000, let's say 7 days removed from the live. That's all they're getting. 3 million views. Not much. A lot of their social media does a lot better. I mean, maybe the part that Netflix is not touting about right now so much that they could be is that, yeah, they're getting advertising dollars. Because maybe these Netflix folks that are on the ad-supported tier of Netflix, WWE with this programming is giving them the ad blocks that USA Network used to benefit from. So if the ratings were not so wonderful for USA Network, it doesn't matter because the ads that they're putting out there on Netflix are global. And because it's an acceptable behavior for wrestling fans to watch commercials in their Monday Night Raw, yeah, go for it. And by the way, if we're watching Monday Night Raw without the ads, if you're just watching it without, all you're getting is just the intros, the entrances to the matches. You're not getting much of the match itself that they're cutting away from, necessarily. And you're never going to miss anything by going to commercial break. So some people think, oh, well, we're not going to go to commercials at all. Yeah, you get a little drop off, come back. They're still doing commentary, but like you're not getting much from it. You're not missing anything. Just like if you're watching Peacock pay-per-views, same thing goes. You're not missing anything. Not at all. Triple H says that Netflix has been amazing in every sense of the word. They are phenomenal partners. We can't say enough about the fans. They've shown up in full force, as passionate and engaged as ever. So the so-called Netflix bump, that's only to you, Joel. I don't hear anyone else calling this a Netflix bump. It's difficult to make a viewership comparison between Netflix and USA, where in fall 2024 for USA, it averaged 1.65 million viewers a week. Because linear channels measure their viewership differently than Netflix does. Yeah, because of the sampling versus the supposed Netflix analytics that give you all the numbers that are out there. But still, 1.65 million viewers in the U.S. on the basis of the sampling of Nielsen versus what Netflix is giving you as a global audience. That's not good. I mean, you can, spin it however you want, but that's what they're saying. The vice president of sports at Netflix says, quote, this is Gabe Spitzer, by the way, quote, it's everything we could have hoped for and more. We knew going in that we're not going to change WWE, right? It was more, how can we add to it in ways that's what we've seen so far? Let me tell you like this, too. It wasn't Netflix that's going to make the change. This is TKO that made the change. Once Netflix took over Monday Night Raw, TKO created the changes. There obviously were changes that were going to be made to the way the format of the show was going to be and what they were going to be doing with the shows. And it's pretty obvious of that. Because once Netflix came on board and Monday Night Raw was moved over, Everything changed. And it's what you hear about. The fact is, listen, they got their money. Netflix is already getting subscriptions. There's not much of a gauge as to what they're going to get from WWE for those subscriptions. What they are getting is, it's not so much the audience. And, you know, the audience and the way they sound on the house shows, that's pretty good. Netflix is probably not hearing the noise on social media. They don't care about that. The signal for them is that crowd and how they're engaging. And the fact they have this show that, okay, yeah, on Netflix, what else is there to watch? There's not that much on Netflix to watch, not honestly. You have this live show that's going on. Oh, we can flip on for a little bit. I guarantee you they don't tell you anything about the listeners, I mean, the viewership of Netflix. You never hear anything, any reporting about how long people stay on to watch. Okay. Let me give you an example. So if you're on the homepage of Netflix, and let's say, okay, you know what? You just put your remote down. You went to go grab a snack. You went to the restroom, whatever. And what's the chance that Monday Night Raw might be playing in the background as an offer, you know, a little sneak preview? This is what's being made available on Netflix right now live. And on Monday night, somebody might have it over there, right? Some way to get that over there. I don't know. Are people actually watching the entire program? That's the other question. Also, if you were watching after the fact, you know, how much are they watching of the actual content? Because they're not going by quarter hours. We don't know anything about that. We're just on the viewership that they say it is, right? Of how many people will probably drop in on WWE Raw on Netflix, okay? They're dropping in on it. Of the actual viewership that would be counted by Nielsen, probably not so much. But everybody read the headline, and everyone out there decided just to go ahead and go at it and be so happy about it. Okay? Because somebody else on X, I'm not giving out names, I'm just going to say, okay, somebody says, yeah, Netflix seems to be happy with the WWE on their platform. The bad faith actors in the IWC are going to be crying, love to see it. But as I said, this variety story got the IWC all worked up. The juvenile delusional fandom are all happy about this. Another person, 6 months in the top 10 is crazy. I don't even know what that means. Do we even look at what other programs are up there in the top 10 to go up against Monday Night Raw, just out of curiosity? Somebody writes, yeah, I'd say they are happy so far with the results, Bubba. They hate to see it, LOL. And of course, this is on my For You page on X, and I constantly see these kind of comments on here. It's like, okay, whatever. Another person writing about the Gunther CM Punk storyline. This is a world title rivalry about who is the better professional wrestler. Simple, effective, compelling. Well, I'm glad he sees this through rose-colored glasses, because I don't see it. Not at all. Another person writing about the Trick Williams Undertaker storyline. Imagine telling someone in 2025 that TNA World Champion was going to be in a WWE ring confronting the Undertaker. What a crazy visual. Now, getting back to TNA real quick in the partnership, somebody out there actually put out a video, a montage of all the things that happened in this WWE TNA partnership. I want to just play a couple of things that they put in here that are quite interesting. So let me go ahead and put this in real quick and let everybody hear this. So, unfortunately, I can't play the music and everything because it's going to get me a copyright. But the one thing is, they show Jordan Grace, you know, losing and taking the loss to JC Jane. So, Roxanne Perez. There we go. That's what I meant. Okay. Then you have the Joe Henry storyline where he gets beaten by Ethan Page. Joe Henry losing in the Royal Rumble match. Obafemi beating Moose, pinning him. Joe Henry getting punked out by Randy Orton at WrestleMania. The TNA World Heavyweight title being turned around at Battleground of all places. Not a TNA show, but an NXT show. And then, of course, this weekend. But yeah. Surprising as all. Spitzers has added that WWE content has been popular across a wide range of countries. Top 10 list in Canada for 26 weeks, in the UK for 23 weeks, Mexico for 22 weeks. And Spitzer says, distribution has pretty much been fragmented up to this point, and the hope was to let's combine the power of what you guys do with what we do with our global distribution and get our marketing teams together, try to lift this. Of the pay-per-views they've been putting on Netflix, Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber, top 10 in 37 countries, greatest popularity in Bolivia, Canada, the UK, Egypt, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. Speculation is that Netflix will become the new streaming home for the premium live events domestically once the deal with Peacock expires in March 2026. But before we get to March 2026, let's talk about Peacock. Because Peacock decided to go ahead and bump up their prices today as I record. Up $3 now for Premium and Premium Plus. So, yeah. Fun. At the moment now, Peacock Premium is available for $10.99 a month or $109 a year. Peacock Premium Plus is $16.99 a month. And now the lowest end of Peacock is $7.99. It's a new limited content tier being tested. So probably WWE's not even a part of it. And here we go. The Peacock Select tier, which is $7.99 a month, will not include live programming. So no live sports, which that includes anything WWE is doing right now with their pay-per-views. You have to pay now $11 a month to keep watching the pay-per-views as you want. That's it. Now, the next thing we got to talk about is the next broadcast partners have gotten brought into all this here. So AEW, remember I enjoyed for a while now, I did enjoy watching AEW in the movie theaters. And it stopped. It was Joe Head Productions, I think it was, that was doing that. And the deal was good because of the fact that while the AEW pay-per-views, I think, were $49.99 or $59.99, I could pay with my Regal Unlimited plan, and wherever else, I could pay $25 to watch AEW on pay-per-view in the theater. One night, by the way. And it was great. Listen, the theater experience that's happening that now WWE is going to be taking over. Here's what we got. SummerSlam will be the first time they're going to do this, but they're going to now screen live in select Regal Cinemas across the U.S. as part of a multi-event Fandango partnership. Fandango set up a deal with them to be able to go ahead and have premium live events at Regal Cinemas. So I looked at the pricing to go ahead and see what it was. $25 still. Meanwhile, I could go ahead and buy Peacock, right, and still keep the $11 a month to watch it at home. But now you're telling me, okay, so if I'm going to go to the movie theater to go watch it, I got to pay twice as much. $25. And this is also over 2 nights, by the way. So $50 to watch it. How many people are you going to go to watch WWE together at a movie theater at $25 a pop? I'm still pondering the idea, do I want to go do that? Because maybe I'll do it on Sunday, or not Saturday, but maybe Sunday. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I was just like, all right, I don't understand that. It kind of boggles the mind. Yeah, they're going to have this here. I mean, the price point's not bad for me, but for other wrestling fans out there, are you interested in not paying $11 a month for Peacock? You can watch in a movie theater for $50? I mean, that's what you got to ask yourself. Pictures are going to be nice. You know, listen, Regal Cinemas, I will endorse highly because I'm an unlimited subscriber. Okay, I have the unlimited pass. I go to movies every Friday. I've averaged about 60 some odd movies every year. And I'll be at the movie theaters this weekend for Fantastic Four. I'm all in for it. And so for me, I enjoy the idea of the theaters, but it's like, okay, not much of a discount altogether at $25 price, but that's probably the cost they have to go and put together for the theaters to go and watch it. But like with AEW, it was a different story. And we had a decent crowd for that, but I think I'm going to probably go on Sunday because of the fact that I at least want to be there for the crowd. You know, I do like a good bucket of popcorn to watch movies with, and I do like that for wrestling, so I might just go do that. I just want to see what the crowd's going to be like. And, you know, it would be nice to have, you know, kind of the camaraderie of watching with other fans. That's cool. I like that idea. So, but it's still $25. That's what's the other part that was very interesting to me. Now, if I'm correct, I think AMC theaters are going to be also getting this very soon, but here's what we got so far. So, live in select Regal Cinemas, August 2nd and August 3rd. That's according to Deadline.com. And this is the mark of a multi-event collaboration with the WWE and Fandango. Regal will be the official exhibitor for SummerSlam. Additional exhibitors are expected to join for future events. So AMC theaters, no doubt, will probably be part of this very soon. So AMC theaters don't have it yet, but as we heard, there will be theaters that will be getting the experience to watch SummerSlam. So in the press release, I just want to make sure to say this clearly, that Regal will serve as the anchor exhibition partner, but additional exhibitors are expected to join. I mean, if Regal's going to jump on this, AMC theaters are going to have to jump on this soon. This has to be a normal course of action. I expect it to happen. All right, one last thing I'll bring up here on the program and just wrap things up, and that is Eric Bischoff complaining about Tony Khan at AEW. Of course, Ariel Helwani, not afraid to go and ask questions about it. So Ariel Helwani welcomed Eric Bischoff, who is leading up to going to do his American Freestyle Wrestling series, which is being now announced to appear on, it's going to be airing on Fox Nation, their streamer, the Fox News streaming service. And so far, tickets are not great for it, but he's trying to stir up interest, nevertheless. So Eric Bischoff, if he's going to go on to Ariel Helwani, he has to be a little bit controversial. So he is. He goes after the creative direction and future of AEW. Quote, they're horrible. There's no hope for them. Nothing's going to turn their company around. There's no light bulb going to go off anybody's head and realize, oh, this is actually getting people who watch TV. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're just too stubborn to learn. And the audience, he says, is that it's not just viable for the masses, as Tony calls them, it's for the sickos. Tony's vision for the company, I guess, is to provide content for that percentage of the audience that only cares about high risk, high attitude, fast-paced action, and not about story and not about characters. He dismissed what All In was, All In Texas, and getting just under 30,000. And then he was asked about TNA's wrestling potential. Well, they're making a lot of decisions. I remember when Carlos came on, they made an announcement when Carlos came on, and I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. But they're making they're growing incrementally, right? It's interesting on how how Bischoff would prefer to handle things, where he is in that corporate mind, like to work and collaborate. If he was in TNA, he would love to go work with WWE or just something like that, some kind of partnership like that. But for whatever reason, he has a bone to pick with AEW and Tony Khan. They just doesn't like him. So he's going to shit on them all he wants, and that's just Eric Bischoff's modus operandi. I mean, I'm not going to worry about Eric Bischoff talking about booking and doing anything with wrestling. He's been kind of removed for years. Aside from a on-screen approach, like when he's been out there a little bit here and there, but that's pretty much it. And so whatever it is, Bischoff's got something, it got a thorn up his ass about Tony Khan, and that's why he wants to go ahead and throw down on Tony Khan on a regular basis and AEW as a whole. He just doesn't care. Whatever. So next week, we will get more into the work on SummerSlam and what's going to be coming up with that, because we're less than 2 weeks away from it. But what we have so far is it looks like 10 matches are now scheduled on the card. So you have the Undisputed WWE Championship in a street fight. It'll be John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's title. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul in a tag team match. Gunther versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title. Naomi will triple threat against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the Women's World Championship in a triple threat match. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Oh, we're going to get the blow off of this match. No DQ, no countout, last chance match for the Intercontinental title. Wow. They haven't had that many stipulation type matches, but they did tonight. They're going to have it for this anyway. Judgment Day, the women's tag team title. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Sol Sikoa defends the United States title in a steel cage match with Jacob Fatu. Wow. The IC title is on the line with Dominic Mysterio defending against AJ Styles. And we have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. That's 10 matches that are scheduled. We don't know which nights they're going to be. But are we going to get SummerSlam that's going to have, 5 and 5, and that's it? It would have been fine if they just made this like a 4-hour show and be done with it. Peace out. And then I probably would have enjoyed watching in the theater. Just saying, it would have been kind of nice to do that, but they're not going to do that. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So probably in a week or so, I'll go to the theater, watch on Sunday at SummerSlam, and we'll do a little preview predictions next week on the program, because this is the Wrestling Control Podcast, and this is where wrestling needs us.